What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This video has been long awaited. So obviously this is the Kotor 1 or Knights of the Old Republic 1 crew from the video game. I'm very excited. So as you guys know, it's kind of been like a whole saga, the Kotor saga on my channel. You know, it started off with the Ebon Hawk, then the first crew, and I actually have made the crew from the second game, which will be coming out soon. But whenever I originally made the crew in the first go, I definitely spent a lot more time on the ship than I did making the figures. It took me a long time to make the ship, so whenever it came to making the figures, I kind of just rushed through, and a lot of them were not very good. I mean, you can go ahead and look at, you know, old pictures, which I might actually throw in on these, but yeah, they were not very good. So I did go through and, you know, make changes and really perfect the crew, you know, the best I could. Half of these are purist and half of them are like half customs, and what I mean by custom is these are all like real official Lego pieces, but sometimes, you know, if I really needed to add a certain detail and I did not have the piece like a piece that was purist that worked, I would maybe like do a little bit of painting. That's all I mean by custom. You know, there's no unofficial bricks used in these customs. But anyways, I'm just super excited to show you guys. This has been a little while in the making because, you know, some stuff I did have to order actually. But yeah, so anyways, without further ado, I'm just going to go one by one through every figure and just really talk about it. You know, what I used to make it and what I think about the character itself. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. I just want to say real quick that I'm going to be showing a before photo of the minifigures that have gone through the biggest changes, so you guys will just be able to see the contrast between the two.
CANDEROUS ORDO!
So first up, we have CANDEROUS ORDO. Now, CANDEROUS is a super cool character. He is a Mandalorian who fought in the Mandalore Wars alongside Revan, and he ends up joining your crew, and he's just really neat. So, you know, in the first game, he is not wearing his Mandalorian armor. That's why he looks like this. Just a, you know, he's really just like a brute sort of dude. He's like super strong. He's just a soldier, so yeah, his clothing is pretty simple though. He kind of just wore very basic khaki pants, which I just replicated using, well, basic khaki pants in Lego. And then he did wear a black tank top with a sort of like, you know, nougat color vest, so I was able to use Finn's torso for that, and I think it works perfectly as a purist torso. And then yeah, he does not have any sleeves or anything, which is why his arms are showing. And then he does have a custom Mandalorian blaster that I did make myself, and I think it turned out really nice. It's just a pretty simple design. You could probably just copy it right now if you wanted to. And there's the back of him. Yeah, so his face, you know, he's like a stern, sort of strong looking face, and then just gray short hair, which I think works pretty well. So CANDEROUS has not really changed from my first go at him, because I really kind of hit the nail on the head with him the first time around. I really did not see anything I really needed to change, so CANDEROUS has stayed the same. But yeah, on to the next one.
JOLEE BINDO!
So next up, we have JOLEE BINDO. Such a cool Jedi. He's actually like a gray Jedi, I believe, so he's not really light side, but he's also not dark side. I think, if I remember correctly, what made him a gray Jedi was the fact that he believed that Jedis could, like, you know, have relationships with people, and they can have like attachments and you know, show love to others, which is, you know, obviously something that the Jedi prohibited, which was relationships. But yeah, I think that JOLEE was a really cool character. You met him on Kashyyyk, and he's just such a great Jedi. If you've played through the game, you know that in one of the endings, you can end up, I don't want to really spoil much, but let's just say you can do some horrible things to JOLEE at the very end of the game. So it's kind of sad if you go down that route, which I actually did. My first playthrough was a dark side playthrough, you know, because I don't know, I loved using Force Persuade way too much. But anyways, JOLEE was actually pretty simple to make, and I have upgraded him since the last video. because I went to Toy Kingdom and I was able to get a Clone Wars Ki-Adi-Mundi for $11, and whenever I brought him home, I was like, his torso literally would work perfectly for a purist JOLEE BINDO. So lo and behold, that's what I did. And yeah, actually, I have Ki-Adi right here. I just gave him like a basic sort of outfit. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this figure. I think it's just, I'm slowly getting a few more Jedi that I did not have, so yeah. And then he just has dark gray pants to match, blue lightsaber, and then his face, I want to say, oh, okay, so his face is from the Millennium Falcon. I don't know what year it was. It was a Force Awakens Millennium Falcon. He's like some sort of thug spice dude. That's where the face comes from. And it is double-sided, so on the back, you know, you'll see him like that. And even the back of Ki-Adi's torso really works well for JOLEE. So there's JOLEE BINDO, pretty
Cool.
Mission Video.
I'm sorry, what is that? Why is it green? Why is she green?
So next up, one of the first companions you meet, and also one of my personal favorites, Homeworld Terrace, we have Mission Veo. This is such a cool custom, and this is actually one of the ones that I had to order parts for. So if you guys think all the way back to August of this year, whenever I first showed off my custom Ebon Hawk along with the crew, she was green. So pretty much what happened was the only Twi'lek I had available was Hera Syndulla. I still have two, but yeah, I had two, and you know, I wanted to make Mission, but you know, Mission is a blue Twi'lek, and the only blue Twi'lek Legos ever made is Ayla Secure, and this actually works perfectly for her. Ayla's head and face works really good. But yeah, so you know, I'm glad that I even had a Twi'lek in the first place, because I feel like it's kind of like a rare figure to have. But the only issue was mine was green. So I took it upon myself to find a good deal on an Ayla Secura, and I was able to snag this one for $16. I got the full figure, but then since I bought it for Mission, I'm using it for Mission. But yeah, $16 for this, really good deal. And then I just took a basic gray torso to make her black shirt with gray vest, and then her pants are the gray pants with boots. So yeah, then I just gave her a blaster. But I just really love Mission. She's such a cool character, and yeah, I also love the side quest where you get to find her brother on Tatooine. That was really cool. But anyways, on to the next fig.
Zalbar.
So to go alongside Mission, I figured that we would do Zalbar next. And yeah, you know, his design is pretty simple. Actually, I just recently got his Black Series figure at GameStop for a super good cheap discount. But yeah, you know, he's not a super complex Wookiee. Really, the only thing that differentiates him from other Wookiees is he wears a red sort of like strap thing around it, like it goes around his shoulders, and then it's like a red belt. It's kind of like a belt with suspenders a little bit, but it's red. So I did not want to like customize this Wookiee and paint it up, so I just kept it normal. But another thing is he always has a sword with him, so that's why I got this sword here, and then obviously a bowcaster, which I don't even know if he really uses it much. I feel like whenever I played through, I always had him using a sword. But another thing I did is just I put on his feet 1x1 plates in brown, just to make him taller than the other characters, because he's a pretty tall Wookiee. So yeah, but he is Mission's like companion. They're kind of besties. I believe she found him, and kind of, you know, they were just best friends ever since they found each other. And yeah, so really neat. So there is Zalbar.
Revan.
You can't have Kotor without Revan. Here he is. So he is a little bit upgraded compared to last time, mainly with the head and the hair and the lightsaber. So the lightsaber, I decided to give him purple because obviously, you know, Revan does have a purple lightsaber in canon, but also just it's a nice way to differentiate him from everybody else, because two of these characters have blue lightsabers, so just giving him a purple one just, I don't know, it just makes it a lot different and unique. So That's pretty nice. And then the torso and legs are sort of supposed to represent the dark navy blue Jedi robe he can get. It's also kind of just like an armor. I don't know. It's kind of like a concoction of stuff you can wear in the game, because you can make him wear hundreds of different outfits. So yeah, and then his hat, or his head, is supposed to represent the mullet man is what they call him, but pretty much there's a bunch of different templates. And this is actually not the template that I used whenever I played through. I actually played through using the one with the short blonde hair, kind of like a I think it's like a what is it called, flat top. Yeah, so that's the one I used, but I don't really have a hairpiece that works for that, so I just decided to make the iconic mullet man. And let me know if I'm wrong, but I think that this was the canonical look of Revan, if I do believe correctly. But yeah, you know, he's the main character you play as, Dark Lord Revan, as many people know him. And yeah, so pretty cool thing.
BASTILA SHAN.
And what better way to follow up Revan than with BASTILA SHAN? Yeah, so this custom actually looks a lot better this time around than the first time. She's probably the one that went through the most amount of changes, and for good reason. If you were to look at what she looked like at the beginning, definitely rushed. She was definitely rushed. And you know, I gotta give myself credit though, because she is a very hard minifigure to make. She has a very unique color, which I think I was actually able to replicate very well with this custom. But it's like a light salmon orange. That's like the best way I can describe it. And then she has like also like dark red, but it also looks brown. I mean, it's crazy. Some people think that she's yellow. Like, even the vintage collection figure that was made of her, they used yellow for her. But whenever you play as her in the game, like, her main outfit has no yellow, which I kind of find, I kind of find it funny that people make her yellow. One thing that is yellow is her double-bladed lightsaber, which I do not have yellow double-bladed lightsabers, but I do have, so I used the old green lightsabers before they switched it to the new green. And in a certain light, like, since they're translucent, they will occasionally look a little bit yellow. So I think that it works pretty well. And then her torso is Hera Syndulla's. And then her arms are Cara Dune's, because Cara Dune has a darker shade of skin color than other minifigs. So I was able to use it as like a sleeve, because it is a different color than the flesh that I used for Bastila. And it works really well for the color that she wears in the game. And then her pants there are sort of like the same color, and then I took them off of the original kind of waist piece they were on and put them on this belt to represent her belt that she has. And then her hair has also been upgraded. It's just this brown female hair. It looks really nice for Bastila, and then it's Rey's face. So yeah, there she is. But BASTILA SHAN, definitely the most upgraded figure out of the bunch.
CARTH ONASI.
So CARTH ONASI, I did not think that he was going to really get any upgrades for this video, because I hit the nail pretty good on the head as well for CARTH the first time around. But then I recently got the N1 Starfighter, and Pelimoto had a torso that I was like, dang, that really works a lot better for CARTH than the one I've been using, because this color really is just a lot better representing CARTH's jacket color that he wears in the game. So I was like, you know what, I mean, Pelimoto, I'll just swap the torsos, and I'll just you know, I'll use it for CARTH. And I really like it. It makes him that much better. But yeah, so he has his double pistols. His pants are from old Han Solo, which work really well. His face is posed, and then he has the brown slicked back hair. This figure looks really good in my opinion. And yeah, so CARTH he's your first companion actually, and he's pretty cool. He sticks with you throughout the whole game, and then at the end, you know, depending on what you choose, he either stays with you or leaves. So yeah, but he's just a neat character and pretty cool to represent him in Lego.
Juhani.
So here we have Juhani. So yeah, you're probably looking at this and like, what on earth is that? Which, don't get me wrong, I get it. Like, she looks a little bit weird, especially like you're probably like, what is hanging off of her head? Well, so the first time around with Juhani, I know I said the Bastila was probably the worst, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think Juhani might have taken the place as the worst, like, first go. She's very hard to make. She's a Kotor, which is like a human cat sort of species. Very, very, you know, strange alien type of character, but it definitely did not make it easy to represent in Lego form. But since then, I've found a very good torso and leg combination that works way better for her. I kept the head because I still think that this is the best, purest head I could go for. And so Juhani has this ponytail sort of thing on the top of her head. Like, the rest of her head is bald, but it's just like this one thing of hair growing out. And so I've been trying to replicate it. Didn't have any hairpiece that looked anything like it. So I just was like, you know what? I have brown yarn. Might as well hot glue it into the top of her head hole. Oh. And then it has like a golden sort of like band to keep it up. So I just painted it gold. And I know it might look crazy, but I really like how it turned out. Here's the back of her. So that is Iron Man's torso that I flipped over. And then the back of her, that's some sort of like Freemaker Adventure head. And the back is printed. So I just try to keep it facing forward. And the hair is levitating a little bit because it's hard to get it to kind of go down. Ideally, it would be like more like that, but it's levitating, so you know, it's fine. But I really do just love Juhani as a character. Here's her blue lightsaber as well. But yeah, she's really neat. You find her whenever she's like, she had just left the Jedi because she had thought that she had killed her master during, like, she had like a temper tantrum. She striked her master down, but apparently her master lived it. And so then whenever you come to her and find her in some sort of like temple outside of Dantooine, or in Dantooine outside of the Jedi Enclave, you pretty much like, you can either kill her there and then just not have her as a companion for through the whole game, which I definitely don't recommend, or you can kind of like make her have a change of heart and then she comes back to the Order. And I just overall really like her character. She's really interesting. And yeah, also the first LGBTQ character in Star Wars, so that's just another fact about her that I figured out. But anyways, yeah, on to the next character.
HK-47.
So here we have the robot assassin droid HK-47. He has not undergone any changes, and as you can see, this is like the same torso that I used for Juhani, but with Juhani's I flipped it over. But it is because it works pretty well. He is a crimson red assassin droid, and yeah, these are all Marvel parts. I flipped over Ultron's head, I believe. Yeah, so on the back here that's Ultron's head, but it flipped around. It works really well, and I used those red dots as his eyes because he has slanted red eyes like that, so pretty nice. And then I also put 1x1 red studs on his feet to make him taller because he also is a taller character. So yeah, I mean, really not much to him. Pretty simple, purest custom. I just gave him a blaster there. And in the game, you can find him on Tatooine, I believe, and you purchase him, and then I think you come to figure out that he actually, so Revan buys him, and then whenever Revan figures out who he was, you know, whenever he figures out that he was a Sith Lord, you figure out that you used to own HK, which is why HK like is loyal to you and stuff. And it's kind of crazy, you know, how you kind of figure out that this droid that you bought, you owned at one point. But yeah, he's kind of funny. He said some funny remarks here and there, but yeah, on to the next guy.
T3M4.
So the next and last character, part of the official crew, is T3M4. I believe that's the same. I know the first letters are T3, but yeah, so he has changed a little bit. He's a very difficult figure to make. These were kind of like the I guess, astromech. For some reason I blanked on what they were called, but these were kind of like the astromechs of the Old Republic. There were quite a few featured in both games, I believe. And they kind of had like this circular top. Ideally, you would be able to see him like this, like, so for this character, you'd see him like this, and then this would just like be behind. But unfortunately, to get this back piece the way it's supposed to be, I have to slant him like this. So it is what it is, but you can still look up at him. So yeah, he has like this circular dome. He has a blue sort of like eye thing. And then he has the 2 legs and body like an astromech. But in the back, he has like a third sort of wheel that he moves on. So yeah, he also is, I think you might find him on the Ebonhawk. Now that I think about it, I don't remember where you find him, which I should probably be looking into, but yeah, I just know that he's there with you from the beginning, and he's definitely funny. Whenever you try to talk to him, he literally speaks in beeps and boops, so you know, but your character can understand it, but the player usually does not. So yeah, that is T3.
Darth Malak.
So even though he's not a part of the official crew, I decided that I'd throw him in here anyway. He's not undergone any changes since like the 2 years ago that I made him, but it is Darth Malak. So yeah, this guy's also 100% purist. Legs and torso from the, I don't know what they're called, but they're from the sequel trilogy. There's some sort of trooper, but they work literally perfectly for Darth Malak. And then Ultron's armor piece on top, and then I just gave him burnt Anakin's head, because a lot of people use white, like the physical color white heads with like a face for Malak, but Malak had like flesh color skin, so that's why I just opted for this. I know it's not perfect, but it works. And then just, you know, a red lightsaber and then a black cape. So I really do love this custom, and you know, he's like the main bad guy of the first game, so yes.
Colonador.
And the last figure I'll be showing here is my custom Calo Nord, the most infamous bounty hunter in the first game. But yeah, so he's kind of like a half purist, half custom. So pretty much I got this white helmet that worked really well for him. Got the goggles, and I put like black sticky, like the double-sided sticky paper to make them black, like and not see-through. And then I have a clone trooper face, an original clone trooper face. And then that is a Bespin guard torso, which works really nice. And then the arms, I just did some painting to give extra detail that needed to be there in order to make this custom as best as it could be. And then just some pretty basic black legs, and then 2 little gray blasters, which work pretty nice. So yeah, this guy, it was not in my original Ebonhawk video, but it was in, I did make a separate video for him. So yeah, I just figured I would have him here, and yeah. Anyways guys, that'll do it for my update on my KOTOR custom minifigures. I'm really happy with how these came out. I think they definitely look a lot better than they did the first time around, and it just makes putting them by the Ebonhawk that much more satisfying. And by the way, the Ebonhawk has not gone through any changes since the original video, other than I just added some more landing gear for support. But yeah, so like I said at the beginning of the video, I definitely put more time into creating the Ebonhawk at the beginning than I did these figures, which is why I wanted to go through and kind of refurbish, you know, restore these figures. But yeah, so if you guys are going to enjoy this video, make sure to be on the lookout for another video that's going to be very similar to this, because I have created the entire KOTOR 2 crew, which I will be showing in a video very soon. This video did take a long time to film and edit, so your support would be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.